My name is Divon of Impressionable You, and I'm going to show you how to make a necklace. You're going to want to get some tools. The wire cutters are very helpful in making a necklace. You're also going to want to get the crimp tool. We're going to use this on crimp beads. You're going to want to get 2 square nose pliers. They come in very handy when you're using them with links. You'll see that later on in the video. You're also going to want to get some hemostats. I like to use these when clamping down on the wire. Definitely want to pick up 2 of those. And when you do clamp down on the wire, make sure you go to the 2nd notch. You're also going to want to pick up some professional quality beading wire, 0.012 in diameter. Right now I'm stretching out about 26 inches of wire and cutting it with the wire cutters. This 26 inches of wire is going to make an 18-inch necklace. You can see here I have some freshwater pearls and some Swarovski crystals. I'm going to interchange them to make a simple yet classy design, using the wire cutters to get rid of the knot that's holding all of the Swarovski crystals in place, putting everything into 2 piles so it's nice and ready for me to go. Now I slip the pearls and the crystals on one by one and interchange them. But you want to make sure you put on your hemostat to make sure that they do not fall off of the other end of the wire. This video is in fast motion, so this does take a little bit of time. During this time, you might want to think about getting a magnifying glass. It helps you to see everything a little bit clearer, a little bit bigger. So when you get your main core of the necklace done, when it's about 18 inches, it might be also nice to have a measuring tape nearby to measure it. You make sure that you have the same amount of wire hanging out each end, and there should be about 3 to 4 inches. When you have the same amount of wire hanging out each end and your necklace for the main part of the pearls and crystals is 18 inches, then go ahead and clamp on one of your hemostats. This is going to keep everything in place while you work on the end. Now I'm putting on a 3mm sterling silver bead. It gives the end a little bit of, class. It's a nice, elegant bead to add to your necklace. Now I'm going to put on a smaller one. This one is 1.5 in size. So just put on a 1.5 sterling silver bead. Now I'm going to be putting on a crimp bead. We are going to be crimping this with the crimp tool a little bit later. It's what's going to hold the wire in place to make sure that this necklace does not fall apart. The next piece that you're going to put on is a end wire protector. The wire goes through one of the holes, you pull it through, and then you put it back through the other hole. And that wire is going to go back through everything that it just went through. So it's going to go back through the crimp bead. It's going to go back through both of those sterling silver balls. It's going to go back through the pearls and the crystals. It doesn't have to go all the way back to the center of the necklace, but it should come back in quite a bit. This is going to give the necklace extra strength and durability. I'm going to go back in about 4 pearls. And then once it goes back in, you hold your end wire protector in one hand and you pull the wire with the other hand to get rid of the slack. And when you get rid of that slack, you can clamp down the wire with your hemostat, which I'll show you. And you can crimp the crimp bead, and after you crimp the crimp bead, then you can cut off that excess wire. So here I am holding down that wire that came back through and is coming out around the 4th pearl, and all the slack has been taken out at this point. And when you have that hemostat clapped down, then you can go ahead and proceed to do the same thing on the other end. So you're going to put on both of your sterling silver beads, you're going to put on that crimp bead, the end wire protector, come back around, and as you go back through about 4 pearls in and get rid of the slack, then you can put on your hemostat. You can clamp the hemostat to make sure everything is in place. And now you're ready for the next step, and that's crimping the crimp bead with your crimp tool. So when you do this, you're going to want to put the crimp bead into the first slot of your crimp tool, and you're going to want to squeeze down like you can see in the photograph here. Kind of make that indentation in the crimp bead. Then you take that crimp bead, turn it sideways, and put it into the second slot. And then you're going to squeeze down and fold it again. And when you fold it again, it should keep the wire in place so it does not go anywhere. And you can go ahead and cut off the excess wire that's hanging out with your wire cutters. Now we're going to be using the square nose pliers, and you're going to want to do that crimping on both ends, of course. When you have the square nose pliers, you open up the links with them, slip on the end wire protector. I also like to use magnets for the ends of the necklace. I think it's a nice touch to put your necklace on and off very easily. Just a nice step in and just going above and beyond. So I slip both the end wire protector and the magnets onto the link. Once I have it slipped on, then I take my square nose pliers and I close the link to keep everything in place. I like to do an extra clamp of the square nose pliers right where the link is connecting, just to make sure it's lined up perfectly. You can go ahead and do this on both ends. Here we are opening up the link. I'm going to slip on the end wire protector. I'm going to slip on the other magnet. Sometimes the magnets stick to the square nose pliers. It can be a little bit annoying. But you have to remember, always keep a positive spirit. Things do get easier in time. Around your third, fourth, fifth necklace that you make, you should really get the hang of it. And I'm always here if you ever have any questions, if you want any help. So, put our magnets together. It's almost done. Take a look at your necklace. The last step that I like to do in making a necklace is adding a drop or two on the crimp bead and maybe a drop on the end wire protector. You don't really need to do this. If you do a good job crimping, everything should be held in place, but it is definitely something that is good for safety and for just extra strength. So after you put your drop or two on the crimp bead, you can go ahead and set your necklace down and let it dry. Here's an overview of the tools that you're going to want to get when making a necklace. So it's a little bit of an investment, but it is definitely worth it. They are so useful. And here is a photograph that I took of the necklace that I made in this video. So you can see that it does really look spectacular. Makes a wonderful gift, a wonderful accessory. It shows off an impressionable you. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Joyce of Majestic Essence at this time. She is a wonderful writer and she writes for many of the pieces that I've made, as you can see in these photographs. Here's some of the necklaces on some beautiful models that were kind enough to model my jewelry for me. I have gotten very creative with the different kinds of designs that I can make. There are many more that I have up. I will put a link to them down below. Feel free to check them out, comment, let me know your thoughts. There are some that you can purchase if you do not want to take the time to make them yourselves. I want to give a shout out to Art of Artistic Creations. He is my mentor and has taught me everything that I know in making jewelry. So thank you, Art. You're wonderful. If you want to see more of his stuff, there will be a link below also, and you can check it out. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully it helps. Let me know if there's anything else that I can do to further assist you in your new passion for making jewelry. Like the video, share it, subscribe, enjoy life, and always try to be an impressionable you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.